Hi everyone and welcome back to Crochet Rocks. My name's Tracy and today I'm going to make with you the delicious donut. I don't know if you remember a little while ago I made this donut toy for my grandson and quite a lot of people said would I make it into a tutorial. So I have written the pattern and assembled the things I'm going to need. So I've bought some of these little toy rings so that it can be attached to the buggy or car seat or anything that you want to attach it to. I've got a 4mm crochet hook, darning needles, some scissors, some wadding and a couple of scraps of yarn. It literally does not take very much, so it's great for using up your scraps. Now of course you could do a chocolate donut or you could make one with pink icing, white icing, any colour you would like, and all you need if you're doing the chocolate one anyway is these couple of scraps of colour to make the sprinkles on the top. So for now I'm going to make a slip knot, and you do that whatever method you use, and we need to chain 18, so that's yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through. So I'm just going to make 18, so that was 3. So there we have 18. Now it's best not to twist it if you can, but it doesn't matter too much if you do. I'm just going to join together with a slip knot to make a large ring. I'm going to chain 1, and now we need to do a single crochet that in US terms or a double crochet in UK terms in every stitch round. And so we go in to the stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through both, and we're going to do that in every stitch around. So that's 1 double crochet in UK terms, single crochet in US terms, all the way around until we get to the beginning again. It's very dark in here. I was going to do this tutorial for you much earlier, but it was so hot that I tried to do it, and the sweat was just running off my face, and I couldn't do it with the fan on because it was just too loud, and so I had to just abandon it until this evening, which you know, is a bit of a shame, but it's much better light during the day. So we just go all the way around. Now if you haven't already, just hit that subscribe button for me, and if you put a little notification bell as well, just press on that, then you'll be informed when there are new videos. And if you wouldn't mind, like and share this video for me, and it helps me to bring you all this content. So nearly round with my single crochet. I think I need more light on the subject. Once we've gone all the way around, you need to have 18 stitches. I'm going to pause the video for now and meet you back when I get... Okay, so I'm all the way around and I've put some more light on and I have 18 stitches. So I'm going to slip stitch to form that ring, and there we have all of our stitches. So we chain 1, and for our second round we are going to do another a double crochet in the same stitch. Sorry about that, I've put my glasses on because I was having trouble seeing. So we're going to do 1 double crochet into the first 2 stitches, and then in the next one we're going to do an increase, so we will do 2 in that stitch, and then we will do 1 in the next 2 stitches, and then an increase, 2 in the next stitch. And this is what we're going to do all the way around, and we should finish with an increase because we started with just a single stitch. So that's my increase. I'm going to pause the video and I will meet you back when we get to the start. Okay, so I'm back at the start and I'm going to slip stitch and do a chain to start. Now this time we are going to do 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches. Try not to jog this camera, I do apologise if it's a little shaky. And then we're going to do our increase. So next 3 stitches just have the one double crochet, or single crochet in the US terms, and then an increase. And that's our repeat. It doesn't matter if it curves because we want it to. So, and if you ever get confused as to whether you've done it, if you just look at the stitch you can see that there are 2 in there. I'm going to pause the video and I'll meet you back when I get to the start. Okay, so I'm back at the start. I've just done my increase, and so I'm going to slip stitch into, oops, get both of those loops, slip stitch into the first stitch and chain 1, and you've guessed it, this row we're going to do 4 double crochets, so that's 1 in the next 4, and then we'll do our increase of 2 in the next stitch, and then we'll do 4, and then our increase. This yarn, I would say, is kind of one of the thicker double knits. I know sometimes you can get a double knit that's quite thin and other times it's not, and I think this is one of those that's quite thick. So I'm going to pause the video and I'll meet you back at the start and just continue to do 4 and then an increase. Okay, so we're at the last stitch and it's my increase, and then I'm just going to slip stitch into the next stitch, chain to turn, and 1 double crochet into the next 5. And then our increase. So basically it's just like when you make a circle, but the amount of chain in the centre and the amount of, you know, not doubling your stitches into the second round, that's the difference. I lost count, I think that was 4. And now the increase. So I'm going to pause the video again because it's going to get quite tedious watching me. So just continue with 5 double crochets on their own, and then 2 in the next one to increase, and you should again finish with an increase. Okay, so I am now back at the start, so I'm going to do my increase and then join. Now the next 2 rounds are just 1 double crochet in each stitch around, and we're going to do 2 rows of that. Now I did an extra row at the beginning because the first row on my donut that I made was an increase round, and I found that when you sew that together that was a little bit harder. So I have done an extra row on this particular donut. So we could get away with just doing one row on this end, this last row. We don't really want it to be too thick. Now, for those people who often say that they can't hear me very well, I have ordered a microphone today. I don't know how long it will take to arrive, but I'm filming with that new little DJI gizmo thing. What's it called? Gimbal. However, you can't fit the microphone into the gimbal because of the way it fits into the actual part that holds it. Doesn't allow it to go in. So when I'm filming with the gimbal, it will just have to be the phone's built-in microphone, which is a little bit of a nuisance, but I have ordered one anyway, and I've had a look around and looked at some reviews, and they've said it was one of the better ones to use. So hopefully I won't be too quiet anymore. I think half the problem is me. Believe it or not, I am quite shy. I don't like people hearing what I'm doing. So perhaps the problem is the fact that I don't speak up enough. I'm trying to today speak up a little bit more so that you don't have that problem. So right, we're all the way around and join with a slip stitch. So we'll have a little look at it, and if we feel it needs another row, I don't think it does. So because we did the extra one at the beginning, I think that's enough. So I'm going to end off with this colour, and to do that, just pull it up and down. It didn't really work, did it? That's better. And there we are. So that's the base, and now we need to do the same thing all over again with the top. So just get this yarn out of the way. There wasn't very much left of that at all. And we'll take the chocolate colour, and we need to repeat those steps all over again. So what I'll do then, I don't know if you want me to show you all the way through that again, or if you could just rewind and repeat it, but I don't know. I think I'll carry on, although this one is hard to see because it's very dark. I do have a lighter brown over there, but I think this is a nice one. So I'm going to do 18 chain. Now I never try my hardest not to count when I'm counting. I try and do it in my head because I've watched many tutorials in the past where that person is counting, and I'm never at the same pace, and so it's very off-putting when you're trying to count and that person's counting out loud. So now I'm going to join with a slip stitch. I can get it out because it's so dark, I can't see what I'm doing. And chain one. Now this is really dark, so I'm going to do one stitch in every stitch around. I don't know if it's going to see it. It's really, really dark. Maybe I should have chosen more of a milk chocolate than this really dark one. But yep, one double crochet in every stitch around. So I'll pause the video so I can actually see what I'm doing, and I'll meet you back here with ones in each of the stitches around, giving us 18. I'll see you back at the beginning. Okay, so I've done my 18 and I've joined with a slip stitch. So with this one, again, it's one double crochet. I can't see what I'm doing. It wasn't a good idea. I think I've got in a bit of a mess with that stitch. With me a second. It wasn't a good idea to have done the chocolate coloured yarn, was it? I think maybe we should have gone with the pink icing on the demonstration. So 1, and then 2, and then increase into the next stitch. If I can see it. Actually got glasses on as well. So that's the repeat. 1 in each of the next 2, and then I'm going to pause the video because I can't really see this too well with the camera being in the way, but we do this exactly as we did before. 1 in the next 2, and then an increase of 2 in the same, and I'll meet you back. We'll end with an increase, and I'll pause the video and I'll meet you back at the start. Just doing my slip stitch. Now this next round is the one where we do just 1 double crochet in every stitch around, and before we did just the 1 round, but if you wanted the chocolate part of your donut to be just that little bit bigger, you can do another round. It's just completely your preference really as to whether you want that one to be the little bit bigger than the other one, or whether you want them to be exactly the same. With the one I made, they were exactly the same. And then you can get creative when you make others. If you did a pink one, instead of doing a flat round like this, you could maybe do a few scallopy edges to make it look like dripping icing. And you can make a white one with sprinkles. You can do squiggles on them. Just any design you want on the donut. I'm going to pause the video and meet you back at the start. Okay, so I'm back at the start, and I'm just going to do my slip stitch into there. Now this is where we ended off with the previous donut side, but with this one we're not. I'm going to chain 1 and do a stitch into the same place, and then I'm going to do 3 more. I think that might be wide enough. Yes, then 1 chain, and then 1 single crochet in each of those stitches. Then 1 chain, a single crochet in each of those stitches again. Now what you're doing is making the little strap, which is this part here. So basically you need to make it however long you're going to want it, but double. So I'm going to pause the video and I will probably do another 5 or 6 rows, and then I'll come back. And so I've made my strap about this long. If I double it over, it's going to be, I'll do 1 more row, I think. 1 more. And then when I end off, I don't cut my yarn short. I leave a very long tail, and then just simply end off, pulling that through and pulling that down, and that's now a long tail for when we sew up. But for now we can't sew up, we need to make our sprinkles. So you can use any colours for your sprinkles. I've got a pink, an orange and a white, but you can use any colour that you want really for the sprinkles. And I just need to find my large eye darning needle. I've got a little makeshift thing I use to keep them in. And then you need to thread the needle, which I'm dreading doing on camera. I usually see other people do it really quickly, but thankfully I have fingernails and I just push them through. So you just continue making sprinkles. So I normally, because it's all on the underside and will never be seen, I will just tie it. So, oh, hello, that didn't go according to plan, did it? What happened there? Got caught in there. Oh dear. I am obviously showing you how not to do it. Where's that end? There it is. So what I do is, because you're never going to see this side, and to secure it, I will just tie this off into a little knot, taking care, sorry, I'm moving the camera, not to waste too much of this yarn, because you need it for your sprinkles. And then just make that into a little knot. So that's secured. Pull your little sprinkle out a little bit. And then you just randomly, obviously not too far away, just sew in little, as if you're making, you know, the size of little sprinkles, but in a variety of different directions, because you don't really want them all to be going in the same direction, and you want them spaced out. The trouble with this, it does tend to go through the actual yarn. Push it down if that happens, and then just try and get it into the natural holes of the yarn and just make random sprinkles, obviously not getting that too close, and just keep going until you've got no pink left, and then you need to do the same with every colour until we have a mass of delicious sprinkles all over it, and try to, as I say, get them going in different directions. So we have that one, push that down, go in the vertical, and just keep going. So that's the creative part, just to keep, till you've gone all the way around, and then I like to try and tie my end, finish off back here and tie it back in again. So but we need to pull that one out a little bit because it's not looking very sprinklish. But just go all the way around, making the sprinkles of different colours. I'll pause the video and come back once that's done. Okay, so as you can see, I've been sewing on all of these sprinkles in just a random way. All you do, and just be careful of that, try and go against it if that happens, so you're tucking it down as you sew, and just keep going. And then once you've finished off, I'm going to end this video here and do part 2, because it's going to become a very long video otherwise. So I'm going to end it now, and I will rejoin you for the second part. Thanks very much. I'll see you soon.